welcome to Coleman Report Live. I'm Bob Coleman, and we're talking Main Street and the small business lenders who help it grow. Katie Watucky, your editor. Jennifer Blooming, eventfully yours.
Yes,
Nice
very
job,
good.
Finally got it. I should say it again. Anyway, Jennifer is going to join us. She's going to tell us what's going on. Of course, Lance Sexton, Coleman webinar instructor extraordinaire. Let's see. Jennifer has a nice little bio. Jennifer, where are you out of? You're out of Memphis, Nashville?
Nashville. It's outside of Nashville. Franklin.
Okay. I love Nashville. It's beautiful. Let's see. We got Georgia Lenders Quality Circle canceled. Flagel canceled. America East canceled. America West canceled. Mid-America canceled. I'm sorry. Tennessee canceled. So tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, so we are making lemonade out of lemons here, and we are still training people. So we're going to have our conference virtually, and the good news is because we manage all of those previously mentioned conferences, everyone gets to attend this one virtual conference. So, you don't have to attend 3-4 different ones. It will just be one time. It's going to be August 17th, 19th, and it's very, very reasonable in terms of price point at $249 until August 1st. I definitely recommend for lenders to attend. There's going to be lots of great topics. We've already got 640, actually a couple minutes ago, it was 646 people registered. So I expect that to keep growing. And if you go to the next slide, we've got some...
Let me stop you there. I see that T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked in my mail. I didn't see my T-shirt. If you send Lance and I and Katie T-shirts, we promise to wear them. How's that?
I will. I do have boxes for the three of you. That's what I spent my weekend doing. I was folding T-shirts.
They're at the FedEx drop, Bob.
You got the administrator. Congratulations. You also have buy-in. What I love about your events, Jennifer, is you get buy-in from SBA, and good for you. It's added value for your participants. Go ahead and tell us what you're going to be talking about.
Well, I kind of dumped all the topics there on the screen for you to kind of read at your leisure, but obviously the biggest thing right now is PPP. So obviously there will be a lot of discussion about that, from fraud to servicing, moving on after forgiveness, how do lenders do that? I know some lenders are still in the process of doing PPP, and some have kind of moved into the forgiveness stage. In addition to that, the new oversight rule, forbearance and modification, as well as, any 7A and 504 policy updates, which may or may not include a new SOP at this point. We're not sure, but at very least, there'll be lots of discussion from SBA headquarters for sure on all of that.
Great. Now, how do I justify to my boss my beer or my glass of wine while you play Tuesday afternoon musicians? Can I get a note from you, or how's that work?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the conference ends at 4, and so that's when we start the happy hours. We're sending off welcome reception kits in your boxes, so it will include some mixers and some drink recipes in there, and all sorts of goodies and snacks. So definitely every registered attendee will get one.
You may have a slide. What are the hours? How does this work? You have it over 2 days, 3 days? Tell us what the logistics are.
Yeah, so it's over 3 days. It's Monday the 17th to Wednesday the 19th. It starts at 12:30 Eastern each day, so it kind of lets you come in, check your email, do what you need to do, and then log into the conference. And then it really only goes till 4 o'clock, so you're not sitting in your seat, 8 hours a day, with Zoom fatigue. And we've got lots of great things planned, like the game show night and live musicians from Nashville on the second happy hour night. And of course, prizes randomly for those wearing their T-shirt during the conference.
Nice.
Very
I need
good.
my T-shirt.
There you go. Well, that's excellent. Obviously, jam-packed. Good for you. Good for you. I'm a huge supporter of, I know Lance is as well, of these type of events. I think the more training you get, the better off as a professional you are. Jennifer offers something a little bit different than what we do. So we're in fact, I think we're a gold sponsor, Jennifer.
You are. As a media sponsor, you are one of our gold sponsors for sure.
Well, I think what you're doing is great. See, do we have another slide, or what's going on here, Joseph?
That's it for me.
That's it for you.
Well,
Jennifer, you're welcome to stay, but I
Jennifer,
understand you're logging off. So thank you so much. Please, let's
I
get you
miss
back on in a couple of weeks before this starts and give you another push. But great job on filling up the phone lines, and best of luck with you.
Thanks. Small Business Lenders Connect.com. See you
Uh,
later.
Thanks, Jennifer. Poll questions. Are you starting to accept PPP forgiveness applications?
Bob, I bet this has started it with a little more intensity now that we've got a little more guidance on how we submit. So I'm expecting the numbers, well, hadn't increased a lot yet.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of lenders. I know we all have. And I'm telling them all, let's just wait. Now we're expecting some more guidance today and tomorrow, correct, Lance?
Do believe so, and I think part of the reason so many people are waiting is they're still curious what's going to happen to smaller SBA loans in terms of forgiveness.
Well, it's
Even
going to
had a
happen.
conversation.
It's going to
Yeah.
happen. The question
Had a-
is, how do we do it? Yeah, and what's the dollar?
Had a
amount?
conversation with a family member that got a PPP loan. I said, just they had a big stack of it. I said, just hold on. It's probably going to be real easy. Just wait.
Yeah. And are you accepting PPP loan applications? Katie, what is the new cutoff? August what?
August 8th.
August 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And how much do we have? Do we have a slide or Katie?
I
how
believe
much
we have a slide on it. Kind of just, I guess, a spoiler. It is still kind of hovering where it was before, around the 132 billion mark. So that's still pretty good.
I'm glad to see the industry is still embracing the program, and that's. Are you surprised by those numbers, Lance?
Not at all, Bob. In fact, when we get a little more clarity from what Congress is doing over the next couple of days, you may see more lenders jump in and participate.
Yeah, and obviously, we try to separate the wheat from the chaff and then the speculation. But if there's a pile of money in there, come August 8th, Lance, I suspect something will happen good for the industry. How's that for hedging my bet?
I think that's a great call, Bob.
And finally, we're trying to look at big picture and trying to guide you in your credit box. And basically, we're saying your credit box in 2019, throw it out, and we need a new one for 2020. What industry are you most concerned about in your borrowing base?
All of them? No. Not surprised that restaurant and hospitality, contains a majority of the responses. And I think immediately those are two areas that need a close look. But I also, Bob, think construction and healthcare, if this recession and COVID-19 lingers, it'll impact other industries as well.
Yeah, I know it said healthcare, but remember, I mean, again, I'm in my little corner of the world of Southern California. Dentists are closed, chiropractors are closed. You walk into a hospital, you have to be tested even before they let you into the double doors. So they put you in a test, and you have to wait for half an hour, and it comes back positive or negative. So, but I agree. I mean, restaurants are just getting hammered, and of course, hospitality as well. Well, thank you very much for that. Katie, what's going on? Oh, there are the numbers. Tell us, Katie.
Right, so it's still kind of hovering where it's been. You kind of see people giving back some of their loans when they were concerned. We're still at over $100 billion left in the program. So I think it will probably last us through that August 8th deadline. Unless, of course, we get some really good news here soon and everybody is allowed to get blanket forgiveness under a certain amount, then you might see it starting to go again a little faster.
And that's a great observation. When is Congress going for their summer recess, Katie?
I believe it's in August, so I think we have a little bit of time still. So there's probably there's a couple weeks here that they can still get it done. I think. I mean, next week's August, so I think
Yeah,
maybe
I'm optimistic.
2
I
weeks
think
left
they'll
or so.
get done before they go on recess. Lance, do you agree with my assessment?
I agree. It's going to happen this week, Bob. It has to.
Yeah, very good. Let's see, Katie, you have a couple of articles you've been following, a couple trends. Unlocking opportunities in emerging markets. Oh, I'm sorry. There was, let's go with John Riosti's first. This is John's article. He's our guest on Thursdays. What's he talking about here, Katie?
So he's talking about the processing the forgiveness applications and how we're still waiting on a little bit of guidance here, which of course we've kind of hinted is probably coming out today, tomorrow, or later this week. So everybody's anxiously waiting for that. But we are starting to see the program slowly come together, and we're starting to see the forgiveness process start to be built up so that we can actually get these forgiveness applications out there.
Yeah, you know, we've done 5 million loans, Lance.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just unheard of.
Yeah. Well, and some of the insanity, they're saying that the forgiveness portal, only 20 people per location will have access. Well, if you've got somebody that did 10,000 PPP loans, that's a pretty substantial number of loans per person.
Yeah, that's very good. Okay, tell us about emerging markets, Katie.
So this is actually pretty interesting. There's some emerging markets in, this is the Emerging Markets Act. Sorry about that. This
That's okay.
act is going to create and implement strategies and programs that provide integrated approach to development of small business concerns in emerging markets. So that would be up and coming businesses in ones that used to be in disadvantaged areas as well.
I was going to say, let's give it, what's the definition of emerging market? Is this the same as underserved market? Is it a little bit different, Lance?
It's not necessarily underserved. It would be an up and coming market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this act would just essentially help those businesses get better partnerships and advance their progress a little faster and easier, especially with the microloan program.
And microloans are loans,
approval.
yeah, 25,000 and less. Katie, where are we in this legislation? Is it introduced? Is it?
This one was just introduced, I believe, Thursday or Friday. So this one's still pretty new, but it does have a lot of bipartisan support right now.
Okay, very good. And why is this important? We're going to tighten up the certification process for women-owned businesses. Why is this important, Katie?
So really the important part of this is, if you remember going back to the CARES Act, we're supposed to be prioritizing small businesses owned by minorities and women. So technically this would be one of those audience groups that's supposed to be prioritized. Unfortunately, they can't be categorized as that anymore. They're going, unless they use this certification process now. Which is on an online portal.
I was going to say, what do we have to do to certify this, Lance? Just go in and check a box? What are they going to be doing?
Yeah, there's a certification process on SBA's website at sba.gov.
Mm-hmm. There's a link to it.
Very good. Tell us about your webinar on Wednesday, Lance.
We are going to update the forgiveness process. We're going to talk about submission. We're probably going to have to update the presentation between now and Wednesday if things fall into place like I think they might. So I updated it last Friday, but there's a possibility it'll get updated again. But we're going to talk about forgiveness. But we're not just going to talk about the new things. We're going to go back and revisit some details on forgiveness from its inception with the new updates included as well.
And what our promise to you is, obviously, there's a lot of information that has come out. If we don't have all our final guidelines, Lance will be rescheduling another follow-up webinar. We're not going to charge you, obviously, for that, but we will do that as soon as we get additional guidance. But right now, there's a ton of information out there that you can be using to prepare.
Absolutely, absolutely. And see your forgiveness on loans over 150, I think 150 is the number, it's pretty set. It's the smaller loans where we may have some different guidance.
Raman asked the question. Hey, we love your questions. Thank you very much. You keep us on our toes. Is a new round of PPP funding going to be part of the new stimulus instead of P4? We don't know. Correct, Lance?
We don't know, but I don't think so because there's still plenty of money there. You know, it's only supposed to be in place till August the 8th. It is likely new legislation, and Katie, correct me if I'm wrong, will extend it through the end of the year. But there's still, based on utilization, plenty of money there in PPP.
Right. The Treasury Secretary did mention that he was wanting to up the amount of money in the program at that point. So we could see something still. I wouldn't put it past them. But the P4 program does not allow for more funding right now.
Very good. Our new newsletter is becoming a industry hit. We're editing it so it is for your C-suite, your board of directors, for those who have an interest or a stakeholder in SBA Department lending, but they certainly don't need to know how to document equity injection or how to get someone certified as a women-owned business. But we're talking about larger trends, Lance.
Absolutely. And people in the C-suite need to have a good general understanding of SBA lending so they can communicate with their SBA lending department. And I think this is a great way to keep them updated and knowledgeable about SBA lending.
We made it so it's quick. It's top 10. I think it's a 4-pager PDF, and we'll be doing that every month. Well, thank you all very much. And of course, we have our NAICS franchise reports. Thank you for supporting us on that. And Lance and Katie, I think we had a record number of attendance today. So thank you all for your support.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us today for Coleman Report Live and for supporting America's Main Street, one entrepreneur at a time.
Have a good day.
Have a great day.